Hi, I'm Lola Forrester. Welcome to Jab Jabber. Today I'm speaking with Shannan Dodson. Shannan, can you tell us about who your mob is and what you do for a living?
I'm a Yaru woman. My family's from Broome in Western Australia, and I'm the Deputy CEO of the National Aboriginal Sporting Chance Academy here in Redfern.
Okay, can you tell us more about the National Aboriginal Sports Chance Academy, please?
So NASCA, as we call it, is an organisation that is working with Aboriginal kids in New South Wales and the Northern Territory to support them to realise their full potential and to empower them for their own self-determined futures. We support them at school from year 7 to 12 to help with academic support. It's a really holistic approach, as well as healthy lifestyle, sport, well-being, and the hope is that they will graduate year 12 and go on to further opportunities, whether that be university, TAFE, a job, but we're really about supporting those kids to be the best that they can be.
How have operations been impacted throughout this pandemic, and what programs have NASCA been able to progress?
I think, the impact that it's had on our communities and our mob has been huge. We've had most of our schools in New South Wales having to lock down for long periods of time, which means that they can only interact with the kids online, which obviously is challenging in itself. There's been, across the board, not just for Aboriginal kids, but students all throughout Australia, the decrease of engagement. It's all been done online, and we have seen an impact on the mental health of our kids through that lack of connection, but also it's been a very challenging time, but we have just been working hard to connect with families, the community, with schools, to ensure that those kids don't fall between the gaps.
We don't want COVID-19 spreading in our at-risk communities. Does your organisation take a position on promoting vaccinations against COVID-19 to the people you engage with?
I personally am fully vaccinated. I felt that my decision on that was based on not really myself, but on the wider community, because I know that the more people that we get vaccinated, the safer my elders are going to be. The community that potentially has underlying health conditions, which for me it was really about protecting my community, and our organisation has mandatory vaccines to ensure that we're protecting our kids and the larger Aboriginal communities, particularly in regional New South Wales.
How important were your organisation's mentoring initiatives for young people when school was closed and families and community interaction were limited during the long New South Wales lockdown?
It was really important. We had examples of students that were starting to sort of drift from their schooling, and by the sort of persistence of our team in calling families, contacting the students, working with the schools, because it is such a risk factor at this time for particularly year 12 students not finishing year 12. So we've been really focusing on trying to ensure that our year 12 students can graduate, but also at any level of schooling, just providing that support so that we don't lose those kids throughout this process. And I think now that we're going back into schools and we have higher vaccination rates, it means that the students can create that connection with each other again, but also be getting that in-person support that is so vital to progressing their academic situation.
What's the rest of the year and 2020 looking like for the Sports Chance Academy?
I think the fact that we are getting such great vaccination numbers, particularly in New South Wales, has meant that we now have more freedom to support our kids in the way that we normally would. We can provide that in class support, group sport again, which is obviously great for physical and mental well-being. And in the new year, we've planned to finally be able to get all of our kids together for different youth conferences, career conferences, and other things which assist our kids in progressing their academic situation.
Shannan, thank you very much for giving up your time to come in today.
Thank you, Lola.
That was Jab Jabber, an interview series produced with support from the New South Wales Government.